Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. My name is Jeremy, and as always, I really appreciate your time. I value your time. I want to respect your time, and I want to add some value to your life. So I hope that I can do that today. Today is a great day. I'll say that again. Today is a great day. How often do you hear that? Especially nowadays. I was literally coming to work this morning and that came across my mind and it's funny because during my drive to work, I'm listening to podcasts usually almost always. I for some reason that time of day, I'm not a morning person, but that time I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of inspiration and motivation, and I feel good. And so I feel that a lot. I feel like, oh, this is going to be a great day. This is going to be a good day to go to work, to enjoy being at the firehouse and being a firefighter. And it seems like, and I've talked about this before, but it seems like almost as soon as you cross that threshold of the firehouse and you hear people start griping about things going on, administration and COVID and ambulance service problems, and just on and on and on. Literally seconds inside the firehouse, all of that passion and drive and motivation is gone. So, again, how long has it been since you've heard somebody say, it's a great day? Well, I hope that it's not been long. I'm sure there's some very positive people out there that make it a habit of saying that, to make it a habit of sharing that with others. But I want to be that person today because let's just think about it. If talking to my volunteer brothers and sisters out there of the fire service, if that's you, if you are a volunteer of the fire service, you get to do something that is so fulfilling. You get to do something that is so fun. And yes, I know it's a struggle. I know that it's a commitment. I know that it takes time away from your family. And I know you aren't getting paid to do it. I wish everybody out there that was a firefighter got paid to do it. I honestly do. But you're doing it because you love it. You're doing it because you get to help people. You get to do cool things. You get to do fun things. And you get to help people. You get to help people on their worst day. And so that makes today a great day if you're a volunteer. Now I want to flip it and I want to talk to my career brothers and sisters of the fire service. You better dang sure be thinking it's a good day because of, I don't know how many thousands of volunteers out there. Tens, obviously, maybe even hundreds of thousands. I don't know. Thousands and thousands of men and women volunteer their time, take time away from their family after they're already away from their family for whatever job they work, to do the thing that you get paid to do. We get paid to do what we love. Every department's different. So I'm just going to throw some generic things out there. Maybe they don't all apply to you, but for the most part, I would think that they do. But just think about what we do, what we get paid to do. We get paid to cook and eat. We get paid to sleep, to take naps sometimes, to you know, sleep when we can. Obviously, yes, we got to wake up when there's calls. Okay. But we get paid to sleep We get paid to train. We get paid to sit in a recliner and watch football games, baseball games, basketball games, Arnold movies 24/7. We get paid to do that. And not only do we get paid for all of that stuff, all of this crazy stuff that nobody should be getting paid for, but we get paid to be the people that arrive at a house and try our best to fix problems for people that are having their worst day ever. We get paid to help people that are having medical issues that could be life threatening. We get paid to help people that are having issues that may not be life threatening, but they are, you know, in great pain or whatever it is. We get paid to go put somebody's put fire out in somebody's house, working to save their valuables. Or if we are, I'll just say, if we're lucky enough to be put in a situation, we get paid to try our best to save their lives. And so I honestly don't know how somebody that is paid to be a firefighter can show up to work, show up at the firehouse, and not think this is a great day. Because I guarantee you, across the nation, there are tens of thousands of people motivated, inspired, just driven people that would die to take your spot. That's all they've ever wanted to do is be a firefighter. And that right there, I hope fires somebody up. Because why do you have the right to sit in that spot and neglect to train, neglect to learn, neglect to make others better, neglect to have a good attitude when you're going to help somebody? How can you sit in that spot and have all that when there are people out there dying to take your spot, dying to do that, you know, trying for years and years to become a firefighter, applying it, you know, multiple cities, multiple states to do what you're doing and probably to do it better. So I think I think that is something that we need to really look at, and it's been brought up several times, and I probably have said it myself. You have these great conversations, you read these great books, you listen to great podcasts that inspire you, you do all of this stuff, and I'm kind of talking to just the profiling the people out there that are listening to this. And I've heard people say, it's the people that really need it the most that aren't listening. And this is another thought that I was having this morning, and I completely agree with that thought, and kind of what the underlying kind of tone of that is that the people out there that need it the most, the uninspired people, the people that have lost their passion, the people that are just having a bad attitude about things, the people that are making the fire service a worse place. Those are the people that should be, reaching out and grabbing as much as they can, but they don't. And so I get that. But at the same time, like I said, I was just thinking this morning, part of me doesn't agree with that, because I need to hear this stuff. So saying, if the ones that really need it aren't listening, well, I get the main premise, but everybody out there that's listening to this probably also listens to other podcasts. They probably also, look for YouTube videos on different things to get better. They probably read. They probably do things in other ways to get better. And so by saying that, what I mean is we need to hear this too, because we need to continue to be fed. And so, that's kind of just a little goofy side note, maybe even a rabbit hole, I guess you could say, that I wanted to bring up because, on the surface, yes, those negative people, those people that are wasting away opportunities for great firefighters to take that spot, those people need to listen to this stuff. They should be finding things to snap them out of what they're, what funk they're in. But at the same time, everybody else, we need to hear this stuff too, because it keeps us going. And so, it's a little bit of a thought process that I wanted to start out today. And because it is a great day, we get to be firefighters. If you're an officer, it should be even better, because not only do we get to be firefighters, but we get to go to work and do our best to make the people around us even better. We get to prepare them for the next level. We get to choose the way our station runs. We get to choose the attitude and the culture of our station. No, and I say that and I get it. Saying that I choose my culture to be this way, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And I don't mean that. But I do believe that you have the choice of what direction you're going. Changes won't be overnight. But if there's changes to be made, you are that person that can do it. And so that's kind of where I'm getting at. But I want that to be our mindset. I want to get back into being grateful for this job, being grateful for the opportunity to help others. I know that every single person out there, when they got hired or when they got, you know, when they applied to be even a volunteer, I would say for the most part, it's a normal question to be asked. Why do you want to be a firefighter? And I can't imagine the percentage being any lower than 98% of them, of the answers are because I want to help people. And that's exactly what my answer was. And it's still a part of me. That is still why, one of the reasons I want to be a firefighter. But it can't just be something that comes out of our mouth. You can't say, I want to be a firefighter because I like helping people, but then sit there and gripe when you have to go on a lift assist. I get it. That's not the funnest thing to do. I get it. It's not glorious. You don't see it on Chicago Fire or, any of the other goofy firefighter shows. But I guarantee you, some of the lift assists that I've been on here in the past year or two, I've seen some of the most grateful people I have ever seen on any call, because you lifted either them up or a loved one up. And if that doesn't make you say, wow, I got to straighten up, because, I'm looking at this like, I've got a bad attitude. I had to get up from my dinner. I had to get up from bed, whatever it is, to come lift this person up. But when I did it, they were so thankful and just couldn't stop thanking us. If that doesn't straighten your attitude up, I don't know what can. but that's our job. We don't, we didn't sign papers or whatever process it took you to get where you're at. It didn't just say you're a firefighter. You fight fire, you do nothing else. If you're not fighting fire, you can lay around all day long. You can watch every Arnold movie till you can quote every line. You can sit and eat or cook or play volleyball. That's all you're responsible for. Know, it doesn't happen. You got other parts of your job that you have to do. It's a package deal. You don't get to choose. And so I think as the fire service in general, we have got to start changing our attitude about what we do. We've got to start being grateful again for this job. I don't think anybody out there that's a firefighter for any number of years ever, when they started, I don't think anybody out there was not appreciative of the job, did not enjoy the job. At some point early in your career, I don't care where you are now, if you got a bad attitude about the fire service now, if you're jaded, if you're burned out, I don't care where you're at on that spectrum. You used to be fired up for the fire service. You used to love the fire service. You used to be grateful to be a firefighter. And so that's what we need to get back. We need to get that mindset that we are lucky, we are blessed to have this job. We are blessed to be able to walk in somebody's house, pick them off the floor because they can't do it themselves, because they can't lift their spouse off the floor, put them where they need to be, make sure they're okay, and go about our day. Spend that 5 minutes that it takes to do that. Have a great attitude about it and move on. So that's really the gist of what I have to say this week. And I hope that you feel the passion I have for it. I get on here and if you want to call it preaching, that's fine. I get on here and I preach positivity. I preach good attitude. I preach, you know, a good culture and putting your people first and all that. It doesn't mean I'm perfect. It doesn't mean that I don't struggle with it. It doesn't mean that when I am starving to death and just sat down to this amazing looking dinner that smells so great, and I pick the fork up for my first bite and an automatic fire alarm comes in that is way up north, that I know is going to take probably 30 minutes at least just to get there, find out it's a false alarm, and get back. It, it doesn't mean that I have a great attitude about that. It doesn't mean that I do not fall victim of that. But, and here is my but, I try my best to just keep that to myself. I do not want to see my people griping about anything. I don't care if it's a lift assist. I don't care if it's an automatic alarm, even though it irritates me to be interrupted just as much as it does them. I don't want them to see me griping because I don't want that to be our culture. I want our culture to be, all right, we're called, let's go. We'll get back as soon as we can and we'll get back into whatever we were doing before we left. And so that's, it's just something that I have had to work on because that's not how the way I started out my career as an officer, a couple years ago. I griped. I allowed things to happen that I shouldn't have. I allowed, resentment to build towards our bosses, our admin. I allowed it. I involved myself. And so now, I've spoken on this a couple times, trying to be honest, trying to share this experience so others will learn from it. But now I'm having a long, hard road to get back in the right direction on, because I paved it with those bad things, with that bad attitude, with that, shucking responsibility and everything else you want to put onto it. That's the road I paved. That's the road I'm on right now, and I am trying to change directions and trying to pave a different road, but it is just a long, slow process. And so, anyway, you know, uh, that's that's kind of uh, I wanted to just get into a little bit of what brought me to this. So, anybody that follows social media quite a bit, you saw what I was involved in. I got the great opportunity to be involved in some forcible entry training in Houston. And so, you know, instructing is very new to me. I've been on be 19 years in July, but instructing other people is still very new to me. This is really actually the only second time that I've gotten out and done this outside of my department, and probably very little, if any, formally even inside my department. There's been stuff informally and amongst the crew and stuff like that. But anyway, so it is very new to me, and I learn every time I do it. And it's funny that you say that, or that I say that, but I learn so much from teaching, from instructing. And so I just want to say that, you know, it's so important for us to do that in so many ways. Yes, obviously the main thing is that when you're instructing somebody, they're learning, but you are learning as well. And so just training, just teaching, just learning, just speaking up and having a good conversation sometimes. Everybody learns from it. And so that's why it's so important. And but anyway, the weekend was great. We left super early Friday morning. We got there, worked our butt off building out props and things like that Friday, got up early and went through a good solid day of training Saturday, came straight home, and I got home about 12:30 that night. But it was so nice to spend that time with firefighters that wanted to be firefighters. These people wanted to be there. This was not a mandatory thing. So they wanted to be there, and that means that these are people that love being firefighters. They want to learn, they want to get better, and it was so nice being around people like that. And to kind of even go a step further, I one of the people that ordered some stuff from me, a coin and some stickers, lives just, you know, 20 minutes from me in a little town by me. And so I asked if I could just meet him to save sending it through the mail. And so it ended up working out that he was at the station yesterday and I was home yesterday, and so he invited me to come drop it off there. And when I was there, he invited me in. And so I'll give a shout out to him, Captain King with the Bigsby Fire Department. I really, really appreciated just out, getting into a fire station that's different from mine, seeing what they had, talking some fire, and him and relief driver Downey and firefighter Carlson. I want to make sure that I give their names, because it was just awesome to feel like I felt like they just welcomed me in there like I was a part of that department. And we talked forcible entry, and they've got a woods door, and so they had some questions about it, and some different things that we talked through about that, and so talked some forcible entry. We talked a lot about some hose management nozzles and things like that. It was just awesome to be around again firefighters that love being firefighters. You could just tell. You could just tell that they loved what they did. And so, you know, that's that's what kind of started my mind on all this. And oh, the whole networking thing, I've said over and over again, it's one of my favorite byproducts of all this stuff that I've done is I get to meet, and meet, is loose. It's a virtual meet, over Zoom, or just texting or whatever. But I get to talk to so many great people that love being firefighters. So many great people that are motivated to do good things, that are inspiring, that have great stories, that have fought through who knows what to make it to the other side of whatever they're dealing with. So many people that I learn from. Every time I talk to somebody, I learn something. Every time I talk to somebody, it helps me to stay fired up. And so that's what I want to say to everybody out there is networking with people. I almost feel like it's a must to protect that passion, to protect that drive, to protect everything that you have as a firefighter. We've got to start networking outside of our department. And if you've got some great people in your department that you get some of that from, that's great. That's awesome. But we still have to get outside of our walls. I love Frank Fiscuso's quote. I've said it a couple times, but he says, "If you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room." Man, I love it, and I could not agree more. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I don't want to be in a room full of people looking to me like I am the above all end all. I want to learn something from somebody. I want to be inspired by somebody. And so you've got to get outside of your walls and start meeting people, start going to training, start going to conferences, start just getting involved in some of these Facebook groups, or whatever, just something. Get out and start absorbing some of this passion from others, because it's there. And it's you know if we're talking about Facebook groups and just sharing some ideas, or gaining some inspiration from somebody, it's free. We don't pay anything for it, and it's so easily accessible. And I think something else that's great that we get from networking, and from reaching out to others, is perspective. Oh, it is so easy to sit in our four walls of whatever firehouse you're at, of whatever fire department you're at, and to think of all the things that are bad, all the things that are wrong, all the things that are broken, all the things that should be better. And maybe even you start wishing that you worked somewhere else, or that you were a firefighter somewhere else. Maybe even you start looking. But I challenge you to reach out to others and not find somebody who is dealing with the almost exact situation. Maybe maybe a few details are changed, the names obviously change, but there are so many out there that are dealing with the same stuff. And maybe even it's not the same stuff, but they have their own problems. They have their own things that they hate. They have their own things they wish were better and would change. And so that perspective from other people, and I gained a lot of that over the past couple days as well. Oh, it is amazing to me that I can hear stories right now of other people from several different departments, and they are so similar to the same ones that if I allowed myself to sit and stew over, I would. I could waste days and days just being angry at how things are if I wanted to, if I allowed that to happen. But we aren't alone. For the most part, every department out there has their problems. Oh, maybe there are some rainbows and sunshine departments that are perfect and don't have problems. I can't imagine that there are, especially the more I talk to people outside of my organization. They're everywhere. Everybody is fighting a fight. Everybody is disappointed with where the department is going. Everybody is struggling with having a negative attitude about something. And so reaching out, gaining that perspective that I'm not alone in this. I'm not the only person that is, you know, struggling right now with negativity. I'm not the only person struggling with issues of whatever with their department. We all are, and we all need to fight this fight together. And so, anyway, I think that that pretty much wraps up my thoughts. I hope that I conveyed the passion that I have about this because I truly, truly believe this is a problem that we have got to start fighting. And it's a problem within our own selves. Don't let negativity win the fight. Don't let, you know, COVID or whatever it is, don't let it rob you of your passion. You have got to protect your passion. You've got to protect your drive. You've got to find ways to either remain inspired or become inspired. Because again, this is a great day. We get to be firefighters. We get to be firefighters. So I will leave you with that. I hope that there's some meat in there to digest, to look into your own kind of life, to sit and talk with your crews on. However, however that it can help you. I hope that it helps some people out there. I hope you have a great week. Have another great guest I'm excited to bring on Thursday, so look for that. And I want to keep it coming. I've got so many different people that I want to talk to, and like I've mentioned a few times here lately, I want to branch out outside of the fire service and start telling stories of others that are out there, great stories. It's been a little bit of a struggle, as far as firefighters go. It seems like all I have to do is ask most of the time, and they're on board. Uh, I don't have exactly the same rapport with people outside of the fire service yet. I'm struggling to nail anybody down as far as that goes, but I will keep trying. And that being said, if any of you out there know of people that have some great stories, some great life stories, let me know. I want to share that. If they're involved in the fire service or not, whatever. There are so many great military people out there that have done just amazing things, that have lived through so much and have so much to share. Just business people, whatever. Everybody has a story, and so I'm interested in starting to branch out a little bit. No, I'm not going to get away from the heart of who we are, the fire service, but there are lots of lessons to learn outside of that. So anyway, let me know if you have any ideas, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like to hear. As always, please reach out to me. You can message me on Facebook or Instagram, Crew First Culture, and I'd love to hear from you. If there's something that you've heard today or in the past that you've really enjoyed, really helped, I would love to hear that. Now, I love hearing from people that get something out of these. It helps me so much to stay focused on doing it, and because it helps to know that you're making a difference. So anyway, as always, any chance you can get, please get on whatever platform you're on and like and subscribe and share whatever you can do. It just helps it to kind of be more visible, and so I appreciate that so much for anything that you can spend your time doing as far as that goes. I will say that I want to thank Woods Forcible Entry Door Kits for their sponsorship, their friendship of the great owners of that company, and I just appreciate everybody out there spending their time with me. So thank you. Have a great week. Look for you on Thursday, and until then, stay safe and take care of each other.